That's such a powerful moment when the breakthrough happens. It can feel like everything shifts. What do you think made this conversation different? Was there something about your approach or maybe your mindset that helped you both get to the place of alignment?
Um, I think it was a mix of being more patient with each other, but also like actively listening or listening more actively to each other. I tried to really hear her perspective and let go of my own frustrations that I had with her, and it felt like a shift in how we both approached the conversation.
Hmm. Yeah, that's really insightful, Alice. Active listening and patience are powerful tools. It sounds like this conversation allowed both of you to feel heard. How did this shift impact the overall dynamic between you two?
I mean, it definitely improved the dynamic, I would say. I think we both trust each other more now. And that definitely helps. And I feel more confident that we can handle difficult situations moving forward with this project.
Mm. Okay. Building trust in those challenging moments is a true strength. It's amazing to see how much progress you've made in nurturing that relationship. What what do you think this experience taught you about your own communication style?
Um, I think the main thing that it taught me um, is that it taught me that I don't always need to rush to get my points across.
Mm.
I feel like sometimes taking a step back and letting the other person speak first can open up a much better conversation.
Wow. That's such a valuable insight, Alice. Taking that pause can help shift the flow of a conversation and make it more collaborative. How do you see. Wait, let me ask you a different question. How do you see this impacting your interactions with like other colleagues moving forward?
Um, I think it'll definitely help me. Specifically, I think it'll help me be more patient and open. Not necessarily just with Sarah, but I feel like with everyone. Um, I'm realizing that I'm often in such a hurry to get things done that I might not always listen as well as I should to anyone.
Hmm. Being present and actively listening will certainly deepen your connections with others. I'm seeing this is a huge step forward in your ability to lead and collaborate effectively. Now, shifting gears a little bit, how have you been feeling about your personal work life balance goals that we have been focusing on?
Yeah, I've honestly been thinking about that a lot. Um, I've been trying to create clearer boundaries between my work and my home life, like we talked about. The main thing that like I've chose to do was I've been turning off my email notifications at 7 p.m. And while it's definitely been pretty tough, I have noticed some positive changes.
Hmm. That's fantastic, Alice. I'm really proud of the progress you've made there. Setting that boundary, especially when work demands can feel never ending, it's no small feat. How does it feel to honor that boundary and give yourself permission to disconnect?
I'm trying to think how to describe it. Honestly, I would say it's freeing. There's still definitely an underlying sense of guilt. I feel like I should be available. Like something urgent might come up and like I'll be unreachable in that moment.
Yeah, that's completely understandable. Um, you mentioned guilt, and guilt often arises when we break habits or patterns that have been ingrained for a long time. What do you think the source of that guilt is for you? there a particular story or belief that's tied to it?
I think it's probably mainly rooted, it's definitely, I think it's rooted in my desire to be seen as reliable and responsible at work. I'm younger than a lot of my colleagues, and I want to be taken seriously. I feel like if I'm not available all the time, I worry that my team will think I'm neglecting my responsibilities.
Yeah. That's a very relatable concern, Alice. You care deeply about your role on the team, and it's natural to want to be seen as dependable. What if, instead of thinking about the boundary as a way of disconnecting from work, you reframed it as a way to show up more fully when you are at work?
I think that would definitely shift my perspective. I've been thinking about how important it is to recharge so that I can be more present and effective when I do work. So I guess it's not about disconnecting per se. It's more about refueling.
Exactly. By creating space for rest and recovery, you're ensuring that you can bring your best energy to everything you do, whether it's at your work or in your personal life. How can you use that to reframe, to help quiet the guilt and reinforce your commitment to your boundaries?
I think reminding myself that rest is a vital part of the work process might help. A lot of people I work with have this work mentality, and I feel like if I don't have the same mindset as them, then I'm failing, which, is untrue, but I think if I think of it as investing in my long-term effectiveness rather than slacking off, as some people might say, it'll make it easier to stick with.
Okay, I think that's a brilliant way to approach it, Alice. You're reframing rest as an investment in your future productivity. That's great. I'm really proud of you for that. Now, with this new perspective, on a scale of 0 to 100%, where do you feel you are in terms of your work-life balance goal?
Let me think about it. Sorry. I'd say I'm at about 75-80%, probably closer to 75. I've definitely made progress, but I still do catch myself feeling guilty sometimes. Mainly I feel guilty when I'm not checking emails or staying on top of everything.
Okay. 75% is honestly an incredible achievement, especially when you're breaking old habits. It's totally natural for guilt to pop up as you're shifting patterns, just like we discussed earlier. But I have no doubt that as you continue to embrace this new way of thinking, the guilt will lessen. So let's discuss, we say we're at 75%, which again is an incredible achievement. How can we build on that 75% and keep moving forward?
I think what would help is I think I could try adding more self-compassion when I am off duty. I can remind myself that I'm doing this for the benefit of both my personal well-being and my work performance. I think that would be a very important thing for me, as they are two very important parts of my life. I think I need to work on, they are both my life, which is one thing, but they are also two separate parts of my life, which are two different things, and they're both good in their own way.
Awesome. That's great, Alice. I love to hear the progress that we've made in this and getting to hear yourself talk about how you're adding that self-compassion when you're not at work and being able to separate the two so that you can benefit from both your personal well-being and your work performance. That's great. So we're going to shift a little bit. Now that we have reflected on our goal of the work-life balance, we're going to zoom out and we're going to talk a little bit more broader, go back to our 3-month goals. How are you feeling about them overall?
I still feel like my goals are aligned with what I want, but I've been thinking that I need to pay more attention to my physical health. I've been so focused on work that I just haven't been taking care of myself as well as I should with exercise, with eating, and just, also with what we've been talking about, like, my emotional health and my recovery.
Okay. Yeah, that's a great realization, Alice. You're turning into what you need in order to feel balanced and energized. What do you think would be the best way to start incorporating more physical health in your goals?
Before I really started this new job and started working, I used to enjoy yoga and walking. I would say I've fallen off track though. I think if I schedule regular sessions again and maybe start registering for yoga so that I'm held accountable because, obviously I don't want to waste the money that it costs to register for a session. I think if I do that, maybe like 2 or 3 times a week, I can make it a priority without feeling like it's just, an extra.
Okay. Yeah. Yoga and walking are great choices. They're low impact, grounding, and they can help you manage stress. How could you make this a part of your routine without feeling like you're squeezing another task on top of everything? You already kind of mentioned like a little bit about scheduling, so what do you think a way you could do that?
Maybe if I schedule it in the same way I schedule work meetings, like I block out time in my calendar for meetings. So if I block out time in my calendar for physical activity, honestly, I could even use it as a reward for completing a big task.
Okay. That's a great idea. I love that idea. I think by scheduling it like any other important meeting or task, it becomes just as non-negotiable. And using it as a reward will help keep it motivating. It's something you'll look forward to. You'll look forward to that block of time off. And so I'm looking forward to seeing how that idea plays out. How does it feel to have that as a part of your goals?
That feels like a great way, to balance everything. It makes self-care feel more like a priority and not just something I'm trying to fit in within my busy work schedule,
Yeah, exactly, Alice. Making self-care an integral part of your work-life rhythm will help you be more sustainable in the long run. Just going back to how that will fuel you for your day. How committed do you feel in your overall 3-month goals at this point?
I feel really engaged with them right now. Obviously motivation changes, but right now I definitely feel engaged. I do think I need to adjust them slightly to reflect a more balanced approach, one that includes self-care, leadership, and also my own personal development.
Yeah, I think that is an important shift, Alice. You've been so dedicated in your work goals, but having self-care as a key focus will help you stay aligned with your vision for sustainable growth. How can we adjust your 3-month goals to reflect this shift?
I've been thinking about this actually. I think I'll probably add like a specific self-care milestone, like yoga session and more time with my family, alongside obviously still keeping my work and my leadership goals.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds like a perfect adjustment. By like integrating self-care into your goals, you're building a holistic approach to your personal and professional growth. That's great. Now, Alice, I'd like to explore something that might be on your mind. Is there a specific topic or challenge you've been reflecting on recently? Something that sparked your curiosity or concern?
Sorry, I'm a little sick.
It's okay.
Right now. Yeah, actually, I've been thinking about a lot. I've been thinking, a lot about my relationships, especially with my family and friends. I feel like I've been so consumed with my work that I'm not giving them enough attention.
I'm glad you've brought that up, Alice. How are you feeling about that imbalance right now?
I mean, kind of going back to the first thing we were talking about, I feel guilty. I feel like I've been neglecting the people who are important to me. And I think I've started to notice it affecting my relationships. And I don't want to keep doing that.
That's an important insight, Alice. Recognizing the imbalance is the first step towards making meaningful change. I wonder, what would it look like for you to prioritize those relationships while still managing your work goals?
I think it comes down to being more intentional with my time. I need to schedule it, I need to schedule quality time with my family and friends rather than letting work take the precedence all the time.
Yeah, being intentional with your time is such a powerful approach. You're already so skilled at planning, and applying that to your personal life could really help you create the balance you're seeking. How can you start making the shift?
I have kind of been thinking about this. I think what might be the best way to go about it is I think I can start by scheduling one dinner with my family a week. And I want to set a boundary where I completely disconnect from work by 7 p.m. like I do, with my emails, or I've been doing with my emails, to help fully focus on my loved ones.
Those sound like wonderful first steps, Alice. Scheduling family time and setting clear boundaries for personal connection will help you reestablish those relationships. How can you communicate this shift to your family and friends so they understand your intentions?
Honestly, I think this is something I learned, after talking with Sarah. I think I can have an open conversation with them, explaining to them that I'm prioritizing my time with them, and that I'm working on disconnecting from work more often.
That's awesome. That sounds like an honest and effective approach. You're creating space for meaningful connections. Let's start small. Let's just start with a step this week. What's one small action you can take this week to get that started?
I'll schedule family dinner for this week and make sure I do turn off my emails by 7 p.m. every night.
Perfect. You're setting yourself up for success with clear, actionable steps. What's one key takeaway you want to focus on as we move into the final part of our session?
I want to remember that self-care and my personal relationships aren't optional. They're integral to my success and well-being, both personally and professionally.
Okay, I see. Thank you for sharing that. So we'll wrap up by setting those clear, actionable goals for the upcoming week. What's your specific goal for the next week that you'd like to commit to?
I think definitely, as we kind of talked about earlier, I'm committing to scheduling at least one family dinner, and I'm ensuring that I turn on my emails by 7 p.m. every evening this week. Also, I would like to schedule, I would say, 3 yoga sessions this week. I think it's reasonable.
Yeah, that's a strong and achievable goal, Alice. On a scale of 1 to 10, how confident are you in your ability to follow through?
You know, I'd say 8. It'll definitely take some adjustment, and that's hard, but I am committed. I would like to do this.
Okay, great. I'm just so glad to hear that. What support do you think you'll need to stay on track with these goals?
I think I'll need to stick to the schedule and communicate clearly with my team about boundaries. Definitely having the accountability from these sessions and talking to you helps as well.
Awesome. Fantastic. I'm confident you'll succeed with these goals. Can you restate your goal for the week to solidify your commitment?
Yes. I am committed to scheduling one family dinner, turning off emails by 7 p.m. every day, and scheduling three yoga sessions.
All right. That's a perfect plan, Alice. You're on a powerful path towards balance, and I'm so excited to see your progress. Before we finish, let's just take a moment to reflect. What is one final insight or takeaway you want to carry with you as we wrap up today's session?
I think the biggest takeaway is that I don't have to sacrifice my health or my relationships to be successful.
Mm-hmm.
I can have both, and I'm learning how to balance them.
Wow, that's a beautiful realization, Alice. You've made such incredible progress, and I'm proud of the work you've done today. Keep carrying that message forward. And thank you for such a rich, deep conversation today. It was great to be able to spend time with you, and I'm looking forward to hearing all about your journey and these yoga classes and family time and how this all helps you as you strive to achieve your goals in the future.